I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy
Like
body
you guys
full of
talked about,
tats.
I think it was last week, about
Mhm.
a word that, like people shouldn't be upset about words. I'll posit the N word. If you're a white dude and you say the N word, you get what you fucking get. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that word has so much weight and so much baggage behind it, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, as a white man, there is never a reason why you should ever fucking say that word. Barring you're singing along to, an NWA song in your car.
Yeah.
Like, and even then, you should kind of check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well,
But,
I have a question regarding that though.
mhm.
And this was brought up by someone fairly prominent on the right, Larry Elder, somebody like that, more
Mhm.
prominent righty conservative black people.
Nah.
If that word does carry so much baggage, why should anyone, period, be allowed to use it?
Yeah.
Because
Instead of segregating the word, which is what we've done
Mhm.
now. You can't say that word because you are whatever, but you can say this word because
Yep.
you are whatever. If that word is truly that bad, then why not eliminate it entirely instead of like racially segregating a single word?
Right.
Should it just be dead entirely? And this is a real question. I'm
Well,
not just, this is not a gotcha. This is a real
no,
question.
no, and there's definitely that's definitely got some teeth to it. But my response would be that these guys, these men and women, are taking that word back and they're de-emphasizing the power that it traditionally held. You know what I mean?
I do get that. I totally get that argument.
Hmm.
But in the same way, you don't hear other races using their pejoratives against each other the same way.
I say Polak all the time. Dumb
Yeah.
Polak. I make Polish
Yeah,
jokes.
but I don't think that's remote. I don't think that is even
No,
close.
that's not in the
That's not
same
even like
category.
that's like the quote unquote K word for Ricky. But no Jewish people are out there calling each other my K word.
Right. Yeah. I
It,
mean, I
like
guess every
but you see why, like,
every culture.
if every
Go ahead.
pejorative has that negative, but we
Mhm.
also make that racial segregation for each pejorative, so you can like Ricky told me I literally couldn't say that word because I'm not Jewish. And I'm like, I can say
Mhm.
that word because there's nothing wrong with just saying a word. It's how I use that word. Am I using the word or am I saying the word? Because I
The
could
power
say
you give
I could
to the
say
word.
the N word
Right.
without
Right.
directing it at anybody. Like I can, like, okay, for instance, who was it? Papa John. Papa John, who literally got canceled and fired from his company, got removed from his company for saying that word in a way that he literally was saying, we can't say this word. And he got fired from company. He wasn't directing it at anybody. He was literally saying, we can't use this word. Period. We need to get rid of people who
There
are
was more
using this
to it
language.
than that, though.
True,
Wasn't there?
but that's what kicked it off. But within the context of that, he was not using that word. He was saying that word
As a slur. Right.
Yeah, he wasn't
Right.
using that word against people, but it was in the context that they're talking about people who do. Like he was talking about people within the company using that word. He needs to say, okay, we need to do something about that. So in context,
Yeah, but you need to say the word without saying the word.
well, this thing is if you give it the cover word, as it were, say the N word or whatever.
Yep.
Sometimes we all know people are dumb. There are literal people who might actually need it legitimately spelled out. So if it's for the context situation, or what was it, Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan had the same problem last year where they're trying to cancel him for all the times he said it, but he always used it within context. He wasn't directing it at anyone, or he was quoting someone else who was using it.
Yeah, or he was quoting
in a statement.
somebody.
Yeah.
Or even like I think
Yeah.
in the same way Jordan Peterson, very prominent. Everybody should know who Jordan Peterson is. I think if he's used it, it's always within context or referring to a situation that it was used in a way, but not directing it. So, and I'm not excusing the idea to want to use the word by any means, but a word is only given the power by the people who are either using it or being directed at. So for the obvious reasons with the N-word, yes, you don't want to call someone that because of the heavy weight behind it. And I would say, yes, there's probably no other word that holds that weight. So why is it even allowed? Period. Like, and I get the idea that, yes, you want to take it back and ruin the meaning of it, but by continually using it, eventually it can still be used in its old way regardless. Because I would say that the power of that word has never changed. Would you argue that that word still carries the exact same weight it always did?
Depending on who says it.
That's what I'm getting at. If you have to have the caveat that a white guy said it, therefore it's worse, then that word has never lost its power, even within the community that says they're taking it back to remove its power.
No, and I'm not saying that that's the correct tactic to take.
No, I'm saying, but that's what we've done, though.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but that's what we've done, and I don't use that word. I've never used that word. I have no reason to use that word, even in a contextual statement. I think that, I think it's kind of tone deaf. You know, I think if you're like, I was just repeating this bit. Like, well, did you have to give the hard ER? Like, really? Like that. That's kind of like, I don't totally agree with it.
Should the ER be buried and the GA be left as the lesser powerful version?
You know what? That's not for me to decide.
Well, I'm just saying. Really I'm not saying you're making that decision. I'm saying, like, if you wanted to remove the power of the original word, yes, we have a lesser form of it, so to speak. It hasn't reached its final form yet. Would it make sense? And mind you, this is a broad question, and we're talking, but I'm saying this out loud to everybody who's listening. Yeah. If that original word has never truly lost its power, and it's only within the community itself where they can jokingly use it as, well, kind of any way they want to,
Right.
But as soon as anyone else uses that word, and I specifically say uses, then it literally has the same level of power that it always did. So is using the word at all, should that be the thing that goes away? Like, if we want to keep the soft version for rap music and whatnot, okay. So that I believe is more socially acceptable already, because like you said, is like singing along, rapping along with a song. Yes, you're going to be like Michael Bolton and roll your windows up and pretend like you're not listening to that rap music very loud, or you're going to be like Ricky, jamming out with everybody in traffic at a red light. And mind you, apparently no N-words in that particular song, but are you going to self-edit, or should we socially edit?
I'm not gonna. I'm not about telling somebody else how they should speak and what how their I mean, my vocabulary is pretty fucking blue. I just, if you're asking me, like, I think the word should just go away. Like, just bury that shit.
Yeah.
Find something else. Like, I'm not here to send that word has so much weight that I don't think I understand the tactic of trying to take that word back, and I can appreciate that. I'm not going to tell somebody how to talk. I'm not going to tell somebody how to speak. However, like, I think by continually having that in the common vocabulary, it's not helping anything. Okay. You're not getting that word away. And would something replace it? Probably, because people are fucking ignorant. People like to other. People like to point their finger and be tribal and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's just, I totally agree. I agree with you that we should just that word should just go the way of the fucking dinosaur. But I think every time, like, somebody in the black community brings that up, like, they get laughed out of church. And, maybe you should.
Why are they saying it in church?
I don't know. Because
why are they saying it in church?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So let's look at it this way. Just as I know we're on a really random topic here, but it's an interesting one.
It is.
If we want to talk about something that's gone the way of the dinosaurs, and in the same vein, very much in the same vein, is not allowed and has been socially removed. And you could even technically, in some places, be prosecuted for using this particular thing, the rebel flag.
Mm-hmm.
We removed, in a lot of ways, a lot of people completely removed the meaning of said flag, but it does still offend a specific subset of people.
Yeah.
But the same people who also live by at least the basic standards of what that flag stood for want to keep it and quote unquote take it back, but they're not allowed to, or they're persecuted for that same reason, and it is now socially unacceptable to even display such a thing, even to the point that the General Lee has officially had it removed from its roof.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not joking. That's a true thing.
Oh,
I
come
also
on.
I don't agree with that, but at the same token, like there's
If
motherfuckers up here in Massachusetts
uh-huh.
that are fucking, they have it on their fucking, souped up shitbox 84 fucking Ford with a giant rebel flag.
Okay.
Like what the fuck?
So
I don't agree with it, but if you're from Virginia, that has a different weight. Like you might be able to get away with, well, it's heritage, not hate. If you're in fucking New England and you're rocking around with a fucking giant rebel flag, I guarantee you're a piece of shit.
They might not be.
Now, from a Canadian perspective, from someone totally outside the United States,
okay, yes.
Correct
Drop
me
science
if
on us, Mike.
I know. Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The quote unquote rebel flag,
yes,
was only merely a battle flag
of Virginia. Correct.
Yes, and
no. The military.
Yes, that is how it was used. But then the symbol of it became something lasting after the Civil War.
Yes. Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, because again, being outside the country, and I'm just trying to get my history correct here. Military and slave owners were separate, or were there military leaders that were directly connected with slave trade organizations?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some connectivity there, but
right. but that's not painting everyone that was on the.
Yeah.
I want to say the rebellion, but that's a correct.
Yes, it was a rebellion. Term. Let's call it that. Yeah, it's technically a rebellion.
Yes,
but it was.
But that was on the gray side. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the
not everyone owned slaves,
but the opposite was equally true. The guys on the other side with the standard American flag also owned slaves.
True.
So you can't say that it was associated to only the one flag.
Correct. So, I mean, if that's the case, then you might as well just ban the U.S. flag.
Yeah, some people want to, but let's be honest here. But
this
is
true.
Okay,
yeah.
so
you know what?
Let me go back to my point, though.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go back to my point on that. So we've essentially, because of what that flag has been made to stand for, let's say that.
Yep.
It's whatever its original meaning, basically just being a battle flag of Virginia during the Civil War. That has become a quote-unquote symbol of Southern pride for a broad term. Because that's really how a lot of people see it. It's like, it's just a symbol of what the South stood up for itself, whether it was a good thing to stand up for or not. They literally said, look, we don't want you to fuck with the way of our life. And also, I know it's far more complicated than that. I do know that. But a lot of people just see it as that. They see it as a symbol of independence the same way the American flag was. So, I mean, but we associated the racist nature of things, the slave ownery part of it, the states that were significantly more buried in that than others. But we have eliminated that as much as we can from normal life, from normal society. And we do, in some places, like I said, you literally cannot buy it. It was removed from store shelves. You can't even buy it on Amazon, that level kind of shit. So we accept that symbol of hate, quote unquote, needs to go and has been eliminated to a degree. But the verbal version of that is still allowed but only by a subset of people.
The subset of people that
it directly affected.
Directly.
So,
Right.
I'm going to make a really dumb devil's advocate joke here.
Get it?
Should black people be the only ones allowed to fly the rebel flag?
Yes.
so, and
yes.
no,
100%. Yes.
So, and I'm not joking here. I know I've seen the memes and I've seen people here, especially in Texas. You know, you do get the very conservative. I mean, black people actually at their core are extremely conservative. They're just told to vote Democrat. But the idea that there are we're not going to go into the deeper conversation there.
I'll say one word and we'll drop it. Gerrymandering. Continue.
There's way more than that, but yes. Like I said, there's so much nuance. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Even in the Civil War, there's an enormous amount of nuance other than I want to keep slaves. Absolutely. Don't take away my slaves. Either way, but the idea is like, okay, so if one symbol of that same level of hate is allowed to continue and actually be kind of a social norm, but the other symbol of that same hate is torn down in a very literal sense and buried and you can't even use it, why does the other one get to exist? It's like, and I'm saying, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to use the word. I think that no one should. And it's just a conversation of we allow something that is a symbol of hate to exist in one form, but not in another. It's like, that's why I find it funny. It's funny how us as humans are allowed to do things.
It's it's the animal farm problem, right?
Well, there's also
some animals are more equal than others
in different situations. Yes.
Yeah.
You get to
so
decide.
Why is this allowed but not that?
It's much like the
who says okay, here's the interesting thing here, right? Who decided that this rebel flag was such a big symbol of hate?
I'm going to say
it was merely a battle flag.
I'm going to say
well, I mean that can be argued. See, and I'm only saying this purely as an outsider.
It was them damn Yankees.
Okay. It was them damn Yankees. No, and I'm only saying this from somebody outside your country. Okay. But
damn foreigners.
You know what?
Telling us what to do with our flags.
I can say, and I'm not saying this, out of ignorance or anything like that.
Yes, you are.
You can say it that way. Well, partially.
You admitted your ignorance.
But you know what? It's just a flag.
Yes, Mike. Thank you.
It's just a flag. If you assign a certain emotion to an object, said object becomes that emotion. So if you're going to say, okay, let's say, okay.
I think the Jews have something to say about this too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what? But I could point to, I don't know. Let me see. Let me look around the room here.
He's got to find his Nazi flag.
No, it's not Nazi flag.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, let's say
Mike's Russian, not German. My bad.
It's right. It's more accurate to be saying that. Anyway,
where's my hammer and sickle?
I need my hammer and sickle.
That's right. I'll go get to my hat. No,
I need my red flag.
Let's say, my masterpiece Megatron. Okay. Let's say because he's slaughtered thousands upon thousands of Autobots in the Great War, he is a symbol of hate. We must ban him.
We did. We took away his gun form.
Well,
and made him a tank because that's better.
No. But we have to eliminate the cartoon.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. We have to eliminate we have to find every toy that existed back in 1984 and even the Diaclone models, and we have to get rid of them all because
Megatron is a symbol of hate.
I'm saying I feel he's a symbol of hate and not a revolutionary as they try to portray him in IDW.
Well, how about this though? Realistically, only the Autobots would be able to make that motion because they were the victims and victors in the situation. So therefore, they could actually eliminate all the. Well, here's the problem: is that all hail Megatron was a thing.
Well, yeah, but it's just a toy.
Yeah,
it's a fictional character.
But can you understand what I'm saying about seeing somebody in Massachusetts in their fucking piece of shit truck?
I do.
Like there is no
define piece of shit.
I like a
As
fucking
a,
84
as a Texan, I need
with-
to know.
like, so an 84 Ford that
Okay.
the fucking rear quarter panels are rotting out.
Yeah.
That's y'all's fault for
there's
salting
no
the roads.
carpet. Well, if you don't salt the roads, you're fucked up here.
It's starting to sound like the 70s Aerosmith band.
Yeah. like
No, I get what you're
can at
saying.
you can at least, I don't agree with you saying it's Southern pride or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to still give you the fucking side eye. But if you're up here like, wow, Southern pride, it's like, motherfucker, you live in Boston. Like, why? What?
Well,
like, you're
okay.
just doing that to be an offensive piece of shit.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe.
Hold on. I got a
Possibly.
good friend at work that actually lives right down the road from me right here. He blatantly displays a symbol of hate out in front of his house. A fucking New York Yankees flag.
What's that?
So that
My
motherfucker
heart.
needs to get out.
My heart.
He's not from New York. He's down here in he's from Texas. That motherfucker needs to stop displaying that horse shit here because we don't do that here.
See, the point of the whole thing is
But that's
if you're
Hold on, but no, is it? Because we're talking about a flag here
absolutely.
that doesn't have a true set meaning anymore. But it does.
The point of the whole thing is sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, I was gonna say for some people, the hatred of the Yankees. Wow, I almost made a real interesting pun here. The hate of the Yankees is almost the same as the Northerners' hate of that flag up there. And like
It's
people,
like us
there's a
with
ton,
Quebec.
like it's a joke, but it's not. There is that much vitriol. Like, remember how you talked about teams and being tribal?
Oh yeah.
That shit is real for some people.
No,
like the
I
people
get
who
it.
live that
I
fucking
get it.
life, it is a political thing. That Yankees flag is a political statement for some people, just like the rednecks up there in their piece of shit trucks flying the rebel flag, or even Trump 2020 flags, I'm sure up there is
Oh, dude. We have a store that's literally called Let's Go Brandon.
Nice. That's awesome.
I need their address. I want to go there.
Oh my God, yeah.
You fucking pussy. Just say, fuck Joe Biden.
Well, I
don't-
think they
don't be
literally
a bitch.
can't, but Let's Go Brandon is a lovely neutral slogan,
Yeah.
and people get behind it. But you get the absurdity of what I said though. Like that vitriol, that emotional vitriol, like Mike said, attaching an emotional and social reaction to a symbol like that can exist for so many things. Like,
See,
whether that's a symbol of hatred of slavery, or like, I hate that baseball team. It can be that real for some people, and it's absurd, but it's real.
If you give it that power, to let it, heaven forbid I'm saying this word, but if you let it trigger you like that, that's why it has power.
He said trigger.
Yeah.
It doesn't trigger me. It just
no.
He doesn't mean you
specifically. I mean in general, right?
Yeah.
If you let something, doesn't matter what it is, give you a trigger, giving you a negative emotion, then that thing has power over you, and you're literally saying that thing controls me. That I have no
the thing has control
over my faculties. I'm going to let that thing control me.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
So you have to let it go.
It's like Mike.
It's like, you know what?
It's like
Okay,
Mike with
that person
Scarlet Scarab.
That person has a flag on their car. Whatever. I don't know their situation. Okay. It could be a political thing. It could be a cultural thing. We can't see what is inside that person's head. If it is,
Yet.
if it's true, yeah. But if it's a political thing, okay, you know what? Let him go about his day. If it's a cultural thing, okay, let him go throughout his whole day. We don't know what's in that person's mind. It's like saying, like, I could automatically judge you. Oh, you're a lefty? Well, then you must hate this, this, right? But
and he does.
I choose. Well, okay,
Probably.
whatever. But the thing is, I choose not to make that automatic assumption.
You should hear his thoughts on Irish people.
No, there we go. Well,
That was a
Don't
joke.
be going on about the potato
but-
famine.
but
the
Mike-
thing is,
Mike has a
I
good
do not
point.
want to. I do not want to jump to a conclusion automatically based
You're
on
right.
based on something I have very little information about. Right?
You are right.
Or that you're told
are
to be
correct.
angry about.
That's right, because I don't want to automatically say judge you just because I'm like East Coast left, right?
Right.
I don't want to form a picture in my head because you could be the most giving, the most caring person in the world, and I do not want it blurred just because of a word or because of a symbol that could throw off my entire judgment about you.
Right. So I will caveat that, Mike.
And that's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, let him.
No, and there's not, like, I get what you're saying, but I came up in the early 90s in a hardcore scene, like hardcore music in Boston, Providence, all these places.
Yeah.
So there was an element of kids that went to these shows who were literal neo-Nazis.
Oh yeah.
They'd come to shows with fucking swastikas tattooed on them, shaved heads, the whole skinhead shit. So me and my friends, every time those kids showed up, we beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because we wanted to make sure that they were not welcome. Because if you allow it, if you say, like, this is a place where you can come and hang out and have fellowship and listen to music, guess what? The first week there's 2, the next week there's 4, and before you know it, you're going to a fucking literal. And I'm not talking about like people like, all right, Trump supporters are Nazis. No, I'm talking about dudes,
the real deal,
who literally had swastikas tattooed over their hearts, the 81 tattoos, like real deal fucking Nazis.
And as a conservative, I will say thank you for beating the crap out of them,
because there is no fucking room for that shit.
No,
now
there isn't.
Like is the Southern flag, is that the same thing? No, it's not the same thing, but it's in the you're playing the same game. So like I understand what you're saying, and you try not to judge a book by its cover, but there is some shit that I don't care who you are and how morally forward thinking you are. Like, you see some shit and you just kind of give it the side eye. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're just
no, I got you.
Like, really? Like, and am I gonna fucking cause a fight with some dude, flying a Confederate flag? No, probably not, just for that. But am I gonna give him a fucking side eye? Like, dude, what the like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
And this is something that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with Ricky, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to be an asshole towards you. Don't be an a-hole towards me.
Sorry,
it's as simple as that.
Easy. It's fucking. It's so much easier to be just like, hey, I'm gonna open the door for you, or hey, how you doing, or
exactly.
I'm not gonna be a complete cock nozzle because you put fucking 2 sugars in my coffee and I asked for 6. You know what I mean? Like,
that's Karen. That's not cock nozzle. You're misspelling that.
No. I like that word, cock nozzle. So we can use
that. Having watched episode 1 of The Boys, I'm not keen on cock nozzle.
It's better than the 90s phrase.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.